Okay, this is the only way I could think to do this because technology and I are not best friends. And I really hate looking at myself while I record, so this is going to be super fun and awkward. But here's Willie. He's waking up from his little nap. That's my dog, and probably the best thing you will see during this entire presentation. Okay, let's try to figure this out. So I started with Wikipedia, which is a big no-no. I know I'm awful, but it actually helped a lot. It gave a lot of background information, talked about how, I'm doing Nella Larsen, by the way. I forgot to say that. Nella Larsen. Talked about how she was a writer in the Harlem Renaissance and an important figure in modernism. And then it gave kind of a backstory on her life, which, don't worry, I fact-checked. It's right. But her mom was a Danish immigrant, which we knew, and her dad was an Afro-Caribbean. Her mom was a seamstress, and her dad was a cook, but disappeared really early in her life. And then it talked about how she got sent to the boarding school where she had her first experience living with and around African American people. And then it went into her nursing career and how she became a nurse. And then marriage and family. It talked about her marriage to Elmer Imes. He was a physicist. Yeah. And he was the second African-American to ever get a PhD in physics. And after being married for some time, they decided that they weren't really the greatest for each other. Mostly because of class, which ironic reading her book, but they didn't have the same class standards. And so she didn't quite fit in. But due to him, she had a lot of connections, such as W.E.B. Du Bois, which if you took Amari Phillips's class, we got to learn all about him. He's pretty cool. Walter White and James Weldon Johnson, as well as Langston Hughes. So she got quite out there. Okay, and then it talks about her library stuff, and then how she started to go into depression. Okay, let's just get off Wikipedia now because I'm sure this is just great. Okay, so from here, I got into this third one, which is In Search of Nella Larsen, Biography of Life in Color. And then it brought me to this biography, which kind of just highlights a lot of the things that I had already seen looking on Wikipedia, but it did tell me that they were correct. So that was great. What I did get from this was to her obituary, because I thought the last book was really boring. So from her obituary, learned that she died of a heart attack, and that she wasn't close with her sister Anna, and probably should have written out notes. But it kind of just emphasized a lot of the big events in her life again. Nothing too crazy. Did get to see some cool pictures of her, very cute. Obviously, all of the articles talked about her novels, Quicksand and Passing. But from this, I got to, I can't find his name, but it's okay because we're going to get there in just a second. Thaddeus M. Davis, who wrote like a 435-page biography on Miss Nella Larsen. And this is a review of his biography, and so it kind of just talks about things. But the thing that I found the most interesting in this was this right here, the metamorphosis of Larsen's name from Nellie Walker to Nellie Larsen to Nella Larsen to Nella Larsen Imes, So she changed her name like a bajillion times, and how it represents all of the different transformations, kind of how like the character in the book, you know, continuously transforms. And then that led me to the actual book by Thaddeus M. Davis, and it's called Nella Larsen, Novelist of the Harlem Renaissance and Woman's Life Unveiled. And then that talks a lot about the mystery. She like went missing for like 20 years, not actually missing, but like fell under the wraps for 20 years. And so he kind of like dove into what she did during those years. And yeah, it's very interesting. Live, laugh, loving the project. Happy to be done with this video. So I hope you all enjoyed.